What's up, Bleach fans? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Arc, episode 22, Marching Out the Zombies. Now, this finishes up in a nice, neat little package, volume 65. Now, remember, we have from volume 66 now to volume 74, and we have tons of anime left. So, absolutely fantastic in that regard. However, we do miss out on a great scene. We do miss out on a really good scene that apparently was not even animated. It's not going to be on the Blu-ray edition or anything by the sounds of it, because Kubo himself has apparently come out with a statement. Once again, this was translated later after the fact and stuff, and was hoping that the scene between Orihime's outfit, Yoruichi, Ichigo, that whole thing was going to take place. And unfortunately, he was disappointed that it was cut because it was a little too lewd, as he put it, and that it is what it is. So our hearts are heavy, not just for that scene, because it was a funny scene. Not just for that scene. I think the reason they did that is because there's very little to no comedy in this episode. Right now, they're in the dark place. It's the George Lucas method of storytelling. Act 1 is, alright, here's your cast, here's everything, and everything seems to be on the up and up. And the second act, Empire Strikes Back, everything is in dark place, everything goes from bad to worse, and they're in a black hole, and nobody can get out, and it's awful. And in the third one, they get out, and that's drama. He has said this many times. That's how he wrote a 3-parter, 3 acts, right? For Star Wars. Same idea here is that we just finished off with, we don't know how Uryu's doing, like why he's joined. Ichigo's sort of feeling that little bit of despair and stuff because they cut not just that, but something else that I haven't seen anybody talking about yet is the fact they cut out the comedic way that Chad basically punches Ichigo in the face and says, hey, you know, we're feeling it too, but you gotta snap out of it, man. And he's like, yeah, alright, well, you didn't have to hit me, blah, blah, blah. They're cutting the comedy out of this episode. Or attempting to keep it more serious, a little darker, a little things aren't going as best as we hoped or planned and stuff, but we're going to try our best, and especially with the aesthetic of the zombies and stuff like that, the way the episode ends off, as we know by the end of volume 65, Captain Toshiro Hitsugaya is officially Toshiro, I can't say it for some reason. Toshiro Hitsugaya is been zombified and is a lot more dangerous, where Mayuri is going to be fighting against this particular unit. So they cut that, and they cut once again the way Chad and Orihime talk about Uryu. They keep it somber, they keep it serious, they keep it emotional, and they're sort of leaving the comedy out. I feel like the whole episode was doing that, so whether they cut it because it was a little too lewd, or they cut it because they wanted to keep the serious tone, I'm not sure, but right now it's feeling like, you know, they even could have dumbed it down a little bit to be not as, you know, R-rated suggestive, if they had wanted to. Even the subtitles for the conversation between Yumachika and our, for some reason, fan favorite zombie girl. I don't get why people like her. She sort of creeps the hell out of me, but they kept some of that. The tone is still there, still the implications are there, but some of the line reads are a little less on point, R-rated, disturbing, you know. And once again, those are the subtitles, and usually English dub is even more censored in that regard, so maybe that's the case for why they did it. I'm not sure. I don't think we're really missing much, though. I kind of miss the comedy, because the comedy of the series is part of it. You know, Bleach has always had that fun comedic element to it, and we're definitely getting into the more serious parts of the arc going forward, so I really think the lightheartedness in this episode, especially where we had the break in between, you know, the episodes, might have been a nice opener, if anything, because we sort of ended on such a somber note. Uryu going up into the sky to the royal palace with his new boss and stuff like that, and Ichigo screaming his name like, what the hell, why is my friend betraying me, blah blah blah. We ended on a very somber note last episode to open up with the comedy might have been the better choice. I'm not sure. I found the episode just fine. I don't really care about Mayuri versus Giselle. It doesn't, you know, Mayuri's Mayuri and really cool. I did like the Kisuke, you know, chatting it up with Ichigo and stuff, and Yoruichi shows up. They do that whole thing. They're going to fire off the cannon to go forth into the world, the royal palace and stuff like that. Everything else is fine. We get the arrival of the Arrancar that have been revived and things. Like, the episode flowed fine. We got through volume 65 without much in the way of an issue, but it does concern me, and I saw a few people post about this. If they got rid of that scene, you know, and they got rid of a couple of other suggestive scenes earlier in Core 1, even for comedic effect, but also, you know, a little suggestive, what are they going to do about the Yoruichi stuff later on in the arc? And I am concerned. I'm hoping Kubo puts his foot down a little harder for this one, because Kubo does have a level of influence into how the anime is going to be adapted and stuff like that. We don't know how much. They don't really come out and say it. Same with like Oda with the live action One Piece. They don't really come out and tell you. But I am going to say that I'm hoping he really puts his foot down and like, look, if you want to X out a couple of shots, sure, but her cat form is her cat form. It's meant to be the way it is. You gotta give it to us, all right? You gotta let us play ball here. So, does this imply that maybe they're gonna try to censor? If they do, that is actually gonna take away from it. Like this, yeah, I think taking away the comedy was a bit of a judgment call. And did it work? Yes. Would it have been better with the comedy? Maybe. But it doesn't make or break a scene or a story. The Yoruichi stuff is sort of like, you know, that's like our one last hurrah with that stuff. So I really hope they don't take away from that, because this is suggesting they're trying to, you know, keep it serious, somber, and take away some of the suggestive content at least. Or trying to keep it more PG than R when they can. I don't really see it. I mean, we're chopping body limbs off, and we're blowing people up to smithereens. We're transforming dog people into humans, and then back to doggies, like that look more like foxes than dogs. Anyways, and we're literally like the conversation with her and Bambi, or her and Yumachika. Like I'm sorry, like there's some worse stuff. There's some worse stuff. I'm just saying. So I hope this episode is not leading us to make the suggestion that they're going to censor some more important stuff going forward, but you never know. The fact that we got through Volume 65 is fantastic to me. The pacing was good, and the episode, once again, was fine. I don't really have much to comment on the episode itself. It followed, other than what I've just been talking about, it followed the manga pretty much to the letter. We got to see the Vizards doing their little stint in the world of the living, the ones that didn't, you know, take up positions as lieutenants or captains or what have you. Once again, the utilization of the Vizards, that's on Kubo. It's not on the anime and stuff. So unfortunate. Once again, the showcasing of Rose and of Kensei and Shinji and stuff. They've always taken a backseat for some reason. I don't get why Kubo didn't want to give them the spotlight. It would have been fine for me had they shown up in Fate Karakura and one-upped everyone but Shunsui and Yamamoto, you know what I mean? Like, been like, we are the top tier captains, we are stronger than, like, between our hollow powers and we've been captains for far longer, our powers have only grown, not diminished. We are a stronger Gotei 13, though we're a mixed match of misfits and rejects. We're almost a match for the current Gotei 13 because these captains are stronger. I would have been fine with that. I always took the implication that 100 years ago they were stronger. You know what I mean? I always took the idea that Kensei and Rose and stuff, like they were a stronger iteration than the current one that, you know, Gin and Tosen and Aizen defected from. That, you know, like Komomura is not as strong as Kensei, and you know, Mayuri is second to Kisuke, and you know, I don't know, that Nanao is not as strong as Lisa, and you know what I mean? Like, I actually took it that way for the most part, but it is what it is there. Either way, so the visors still do make an appearance here, which is nice. Now, just two things here at the very end of the video before we end it, because after making this quick review, as you guys can tell, it's a few days late. So I didn't have the chance to fully read Volume 65 without scanning through it really quickly to see if I missed anything. And of course, I missed two key things. Number one, even though I brought up the fact that the visors were helping Yoruichi and Kisuke's investigation, in the manga, that's not there at all. I thought there was a quick panel or something like that. No, it wasn't. So this is showcasing, yes, the visors who aren't captains and lieutenants back with the new Gotei 13 after Fate Katakura are still being involved. This was a tie-in with the anime, so you know, a fix by the Thousand Year Blood War Arc anime to showcase they aren't just sitting at home being like, yeah, well, the entire universe is going to collapse, but we have some captain class people here, but we're just going to chill. We're just going to sit back. What could go wrong, right? So at least we're showcasing that they are working and at their own pace, following what Kisuke is telling them and that kind of stuff. The other thing is that Volume 65 actually did start the battle between Yuha and the Squad Zero, but none of that's here because, of course, we're going to start that battle probably after we cover the rest of the zombie fight and stuff like that. Probably cover a few more the Sternritter fights down here in the Serete, and then we'll probably jump over to when Ichigo goes up there or something like that. We'll probably just because between Volume 66 and 65 is really the start of those battles and that kind of idea, right? So I doubt we're going to be jumping between those. Once we actually get to the Soul Palace, it'll be just all that. We won't jump back and forth to Ichigo and to Mayuri and to Hisagi. We're not going to be doing that stuff. So either way, I did get a chance to reread Volume 65 just shortly after I finished recording the video, and I realized I missed those two key points and the fact that I brought them up in the video. But yeah, so that's really cool. I mean, I think we all assumed that the Squad Zero invasion was all going to happen, even though we jumped back and forth in the volumes, was all going to be sort of condensed and moved over so it flows seamlessly. But yeah, just wanted to bring up the visor thing since I was talking about that a bit. And yeah, so those are my two corrections. That's it. As to the wrong car, which is fine. Some people really did like the 100 series Espada, as we call them, you know, 103 and 102 and stuff like that, 104. The ones that the first set of Espadas, and then Aizen made stronger, better ones, and so they were replaced, sort of idea, right? And yeah, I mean, no other issue with the episode. Thought it was fine. Looking more forward to the next episode, if anything. You know, some parts of the arc are hit and miss for me, and I didn't really care about the zombie girl. I don't really care about the zombie fights. They didn't really do a whole lot for me, personally. The whole Bambi thing was just creepy, if nothing else. The Arrancar coming back is okay, but yeah. Anyways, that pretty much is what it is. I don't think there was anything that, whoa, that was really cool, or I couldn't wait to see that, or anything, you know, that really happened this particular episode. One of my favorite characters, Kisuke Urahara, showing up and doing his explanation stuff. They left in the line where he's like, Mayuri is a genius. I mean, I'm still better, but he is a genius. He is really smart. So that was cool and stuff. But anyways, it was an episode. It was fine. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Looking much more forward to episode 23 of Thousand Year Blood War Arc. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll continue to watch. See you back here next time. Have a good one, everybody. Sayonara.